Hello, hello. Good to be here. Ha marawika na niatsa Victoria na se namana sa nonai na se namana sa na nasukat sikatavan. Hi, my name is Victoria and I'm from the Nonai family. I am Comanche and I feel very good to be here with all of you today to share a little bit about my tribe. Um, yeah, so I will go ahead and just dive right in. So I'm going to share my screen right now. Let's see. Can everyone see my screen? Thumbs up if yes. Yay! Awesome. Okay. Let me present this. Okay. Okie dokie. Just give it a minute. I have a lot of tabs open right now. Okay. Awesome. Everyone can see it? We're good? Good to go? Cool. Awesome. Okay, so I am, as I said, I am Comanche. So the cultural language talk today will be about my tribe. So we're taking a look into the Comanche tribe. And Comanche is also referred to as Namana, and Namana is referred to as the people, because Comanche actually means enemy, but I will explain that in a minute. First, let me introduce myself. So I am Victoria Robles. I go by she, her, hers, and I am the UCSD NASA Community Retention Coordinator. I'm a second year majoring in cognitive science with a specialization in clinical aspects. I'm from John Muir College, and I'm half Comanche from the Nonai family. There's me. Okay. So before I explain a little more of the modern traditions that we carry today, I just wanted to explain a little bit of the history because I think it's definitely worth mentioning. The history is, as I put on the slide, awesome. And yeah, so I'll dive right in. So can everyone see this little blue dot here? Yep. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so these two maps basically represent the Comanche area before European settlements. So right here is Colorado and right here is Texas. And so actually Comanche is a part of the tribe Shoshone. And we used to be a part of that tribe until horses were introduced to America. And once we gained the great horsemanship skill, my tribe migrated to Texas and was able to obtain a lot of land, millions of acres of land here, and was actually called Comancheria. So that's what the territory was called. But yeah, so we used to be a part of the Shoshone tribe, and we actually do share the same language, the Udo-Aztec language with them. So yeah, so let me explain a little more. So how was the Comanche tribe like back then? So during these times where we owned about this whole little patch, this whole big patch of land actually, so the Comanche tribe was actually very notorious for being extremely skilled on the horse. And we, or the Comanche tribe, used a lot of the resources like buffalo. They definitely utilized the horse to perform raids. And actually, we used to, or the tribe used to fight for this little patch of land right here in Oklahoma with the Apache. So our rival tribe, this sounds so cool, right? Like the rival tribe. So the rival tribe of the Comanches were actually the Apaches. So if anyone's Apache here, no bad blood between us. That's a long time ago. Sorry. But the Comanches actually did raid a lot of the Apache land and was able to obtain such a big chunk of land because they were military strategists. They were very good at making a plan on their raids and their attacks. They're very, very strategic and very smart. So actually, in this area right here in Texas, there used to be a lot of battles between the Comanche and the Spanish. And it's crazy to think, but The Spanish actually, every single time that they tried to take some of the Comanche land, the Comanches they would not surrender at all. And they would always, the Spanish could never beat them. So because the Spanish could never beat them in battles, even with their more advanced weapons and technology, they were forced to make treaties for getting land. So it's actually pretty awesome that the Comanches were able to fight off European settlements a lot longer than some tribes. So because they were so skilled on the horse, the Spanish could never beat them in any battles. So that's a little flex there for the tribe. Yeah. So here are two key people that we look to in the history of my tribe. So this is Cynthia and Parker. So during a raid on one of these Spanish settlements in Texas, sometimes the Comanche tribe would take the women and the children so that they could like reproduce with the tribe. So during one of the raids, they had taken this woman here named Cynthia Ann Parker. But Cynthia Ann Parker had actually grown to like the tribe, and she actually embraced the culture and became one of the people. And so she married one of the tribal members there and had her son, which is Quanah Parker. So I'm sure some of you have probably heard the name Quanah Parker. He is an extremely big figure in Comanche history because of his diplomatic skill, and he was able to negotiate with Europeans. Yeah, with the Europeans that were trying to settle on the land. He was able to negotiate treaties and fight for better land because, again, during these settlements, Comanches were being pushed into this little area here, but Quanah Parker would constantly fight against this push and fight for this area of land. And he would even, all of this took place in the 1870s. So he would actually be in DC negotiating as the Comanche spokesperson in Congress. So he was a very, very diplomatic figure, and he fought for the construction of schools, better homes, and better land because a lot of the tribes were being pushed into places that they aren't used to. So the Comanche tribe, for example, they're used to moving from place to place, being the lords of the plains, and they're not used to farming, and they're more used to actually just hunting. So when they were being pushed to this land here, they didn't really know how to farm on that land because they aren't used to that. That's not where the tribe originally thrived off of. So he actually fought for better land for the tribe and for better rights. So he was a prominent figure in Comanche history. And one thing I'd also like to mention is that the Comanche tribe did actually have democratic principles before anyone knew what that really was. So the way that chiefs were chosen, he was the last Comanche chief, is mainly what he's known as. So chiefs like Quanah Parker were actually chosen by the tribe in a democratic way. So you would have about 3 chiefs, but the head chief was always the most influential chief, the one that had the most influence among the people, and the people would choose them to be their leader. So it's kind of cool to think that the Comanche tribe actually had democratic principles and a government. They even had a constitution. So it's really cool to look into that and see that before any sort of colonization. Okay, so the next part of this presentation is actually one of my favorite parts is I'm going to talk about the Comanche Nation Fair powwow and the powwow culture. It's a really big part of Comanche culture because there's about 17,000 enrolled tribal members, but in Lawton, Oklahoma, which I will show you where that is. So Lawton, Oklahoma is right here. So after the last attempt of Quanah Parker and the Comanche tribe's last attempt to keep all of this land, Unfortunately, it failed, and they were pushed into this area here with Kiowas and Apaches, which is kind of ironic because they were all enemies. They were not friendly people to each other, so they were pushed into this land to share with Apache and Kiowa tribes. So because of that, I actually grew up in Lawton, or near Lawton, and I grew up near that area with my tribe, and there's about, I'd say, 6,000 to 7,000 people or Comanches that live there today. So it's a very small tribe, but we are still here, and we still do have our big powwows and our big festivals. So for those that do not know what a powwow is, just think of it as a big party. It's like a big party with anyone's welcome, any tribe is welcome. We do have intertribal dances, and but predominantly, like, each tribe has their own little festival. So my favorite powwow to go to as a kid growing up was the Comanche Nation Fair, and that was actually in Lawton, which is kind of like the focal point of our tribe. That's where we do a lot of our modern society things, like we have our own government, we have courts there, and but actually, a fun fact, we do not have reservations. So I lived on a different reservation from a different tribe for a little bit, but the Comanche tribe actually does not have a reservation because of how we're a little dispersed, but we never really agreed to be put on a reservation. So Comanches always took that stand. And yeah, so that's another cool fact. But so right here, there's just two pictures of just a little bit of what goes on at the Comanche Nation Fair. And we have obviously like all of our dances, we have food, we have games, and lots of dancing, lots of contests, and so much fun. So just to share some of that with you, I have this awesome video. I know I talk about how awesome, like, other people may know this, but I always talk about how much I love watching fancy dancing. They're so much fun, so I just wanted to share that. And I think Comanches are very good at fancy dancing. So what I mean by that is you'll find out. So go ahead and you can watch it. Okay, so in the first like 2 seconds, can y'all give a thumbs up to make sure that you can hear the audio? That'd be really helpful.
Let him hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Let him hear it. Sing on here.
It is so much fun to watch. Okay. But yeah, so I literally grew up watching this, and it was so awesome to see. And just the dancers, all of the feathers, all of the jewelry, everything, the moccasins from head to toe, they are covered in just beautiful, beautiful regalia. So it's really, really cool to see them use it in dance and with the drum especially. So actually there's multiple dances like this. So there's actually kind of like a woman's version of this called, and they're also called like fancy shawl dancers. And there's so many different kinds of style of dance and powwows, but maybe if y'all come to another event, you'll find out more about that. But for the Comanche Tribe, I personally love watching fancy dancers. And yeah, so this is a fair that we have annually, and it's a really big powwow, probably one of the biggest powwows that we have. And it is in Lawton. So it's so much fun to watch, and the skill that you have to stay on beat. And yeah, those dancers are always sweating after, but it's so awesome to watch. Another awesome dance to watch. This is at the Comanche Little Ponies Powwow, which is basically just another collective group. So there's within our tribe, we have different little committees, different little groups of people. So we like to honor our war veterans a lot. We place a lot of honor on them. So we do host powwows for them. And the Comanche Little Ponies is just a little organization that really honors war veterans. So here's a video of Jingle Dancing. It's so much fun to watch, and the dresses and the feathers, everything is just beautiful. So, but with this dance in particular, I just want y'all to pay attention to their feet and see how skilled they are with the beat and everything. So let's go ahead and watch it.
Women's Buckskin, stand by.
Oh, another awesome thing is our MCs are usually pretty loud like that, but they definitely get the crowd's energy going. I definitely missed that too, Anthony. So here's another video of the Comanche Nation Fair. This is actually where I grew up dancing at this area here. So a little nostalgic, but yeah, I could share that with you. So the video actually starts at the end. So the video starts at the end of one song, but then it's continuing to another song. So if it sounds like it's ending, it's not, it's continuing actually. We'll just watch a little bit of it. So this is a gourd dance. So right here you have all the men dancing, but Usually during gourd dances, you'll have like some females with shaws dancing too, and pretty much everyone's welcome into the dance whenever you want to. You can join at pretty much any time. They usually last a really long time, so some people stay in it for a while. Some people wait till that song is over and they leave. But oh, something just fell. But yeah, so here's a little piece of that. Oh, and I just wanted to point out some of the men's wear here. The colors of our tribe are red, blue, and yellow. So you'll see that pattern a lot in powwows at our tribe.
Oh, thank you. That was a good one. Good job. Oh, that's a beautiful energy. At this time, we have an honoring over here on the southwest side. Mr. Lawman.
So right here, you can kind of see a little bit of the hills in Lawton. Even though Oklahoma is pretty flat, we did have some hills around in Lawton, and we had this beautiful park called Medicine Park. Highly recommend looking at Medicine Park. It's really pretty. But yeah, so every year we would have this fair, and we'd have just a weekend of just one big powwow every single day. We'd have dancing from early morning to late at night. We definitely had to prepare for this powwow like every single. We'd have to prepare for a few days before, and we'd have to like even pack clothes because we'd stay at like a cousin's house or an uncle's house. Like, y'all know how it is. But yeah, so this was so much fun. It was a really big weekend event. So yeah. So wait, let me go back to this presentation here. Awesome. Yep, and just a little more about powwow traditions. We would
I think your volume's down. Sorry.
Oh, my volume's down. Can you hear me a little better now?
Yeah, I think in Zoom there's an automatic setting. If you turn it off, it might help. Because it was, I think it automatically adjusted the music and then it was.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Let me just exit this one. Okay. Can you hear me a little better now?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You're good.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So this isn't the best picture, but this is a buckskin dancer. And basically all of this is made out of buckskin. And you have this beautiful regalia, the crown, fan, so beautiful, and the shawl, everything. Like, it's really awesome. Okay, so here's actually some of my powwow gear, except the dress. Dress is not mine, but yeah. So this is the purse that I used to wear. So I danced Southern style cloth. So maybe I can show you that another time, or if you would like to come to our powwow, you totally should. But yeah, so this purse is made out of buckskin, and you have some shells here and some beads. Yeah, so we would usually have, like, one of my family members usually makes it, like my mom. And down here, because I got some new jewelry, and right here is actually the Triton logo for UCSD. My mom beaded these for me. And yeah, so there's just a lot of work that goes into powwow gear, and not just with the women's, but with men's too. And it's really, really awesome to have that in the culture. And a little special someone that I would like to talk about is my grandmother, Jan Stumbling Bear. So this is her, and like, this was a long, long time ago. But so my grandmother was actually the Comanche Nation princess in the, I want to say, 80s or 90s. Yeah, I think it was like the 80s. And but yeah, so basically, again, we do hold democratic principles in our tribe. So we do elect princesses and chiefs. So, but chiefs, we don't really have that anymore, like, because obviously the tribe is more modern now, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, so my grandma was nominated to be the Comanche Nation princess, and she was. And here's some more pictures of her. Yep. Yeah, so it's really cool to my grandma. She basically taught me pretty much everything I know about powwows, and she would help me dance better. She would help me with my dresses and everything, and she's just my go-to and my rock for powwows and keeping me involved in the tribe. She would also send me hymns and CDs with songs on it. So I really do miss her. She is in Oklahoma still, so I don't get to see her as much. But yeah, so she still does go to powwows today. And so the way that the Comanche Nation princess is nominated, just based off of character and what they do for the tribe, and how much of an impact they make on the people around them in the tribe. And my grandmother did hold a lot of respect for people, and she held a lot of honor in our family. So she was nominated, and she did receive the position. So yeah. Alrighty, so before we get into some Comanche sayings and learn more about the language, I did want to show you, probably won't show you the singing one. Oh yes, okay. So the sound that you heard that we were dancing to at the powwow was actually a group of drummers, or yeah, a group of drummers on a gourd drum right here. So so this is pretty well-known Comanche band called Wild Band of Comanches. And yeah, it's just awesome to see them sing, and man, they have vocal cords. But yeah, so we actually host some competitions of drummers and bands. So here's just a little snippet of the Wild Band of Comanches band. Oh,
That
there's
face
an advertisement.
that is usually covered by
Sorry
her
about
phone
that.
has finally made an appearance.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a little snippet of what is behind the sound and the singing at powwows. Yeah, so and yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about my tribe now. So wait, let me see where the pictures are. Okay, no mind. The Comanche tribe now is obviously a little more modern now. So we do have a tribal church. We are a Christian, and we do make a lot of Christian hymns, but the singing is beautiful. So I really wanted to share that with all of you. So just a little, and you can also hear the language, and right here you can see the written language. Definitely not an easy language. Another fun fact, Comanches also helped in for code talking in the past wars. So that's really cool. They used the Comanche language because Germans could actually never figure out the code, but it was Comanche language. So that's how hard it is. But I will teach you some of it in a little bit. So here's just a hymn that is from my church back in Lawton. So yeah.
One. Anakai na nara mina nemai kana na Jesus nahakatu na betsami aku anapuna mi aroi nahakatu na betsami aku anapuna mi aroi. Oh, sunny nada amayo. Oh, sunny nada amayo. Hey, Jesus. Anakai na nada mina nimai. Kana na Jesus. Nahakatuna betsami ako anapuna mi aroi. Nahakatuna betsami ako anapuna mi aroi. Oh, sunny nada amayo. Oh, sunny nada amayo. Hey, Jesus.
Yeah, so to kind of keep the language and keep that part of our tribe, we definitely incorporate that in the way we do things now. So back at our church, we would sing Comanche hymns in the Comanche language. So just to keep that prevalent in today's.
Hey, Victoria, your volume went down again. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't hear.
Oh, sorry about that.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might just take a minute just to recollect since the volume was pretty loud. Maybe I can go a little closer to the screen. Oh. Is that better, or is it still kind of low?
It's still pretty low.
Okay, I think my computer is just. Can you hear me at all? Is it a little better now? Let me stop the share right fast. Hold on. I'm just gonna stop the share right fast and
Yeah, you have to turn off your automatic volume adjustment. It's in the start video. You go click on the start video little menu, then it says audio, and you'll see audio pop up, and then there's a auto adjustment. You can turn it off or turn it on or adjust it.
Okay, I see it now. Okay. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen again. Awesome. Okay. So if you would like to learn more about Comanche language and the writing, especially too, we do have a resource for that. So we have, this is actually how I'm learning Comanche. We have this website called Memrise, and basically it gives you a lot of different, it's kind of like like Duolingo. Was it Duolingo? It's like a language learning app, but the platform is on a website. So if you would like to learn some common sayings, then I highly recommend going there. And we do have pamphlets on our website, but if you would like those resources, I can definitely give them to you. So yeah, so let me start off by actually mentioning what Comanche actually means. So Comanche actually means enemy, and that definitely is pretty accurate for our tribe because our tribe is notorious for raids and for extreme skill in battling and horsemanship. So Comanche essentially means enemy, but we're very nice. Our tribe is very nice now. And yeah, so let me teach you some common sayings. So you can go ahead and practice this. You don't have to unmute yourself, but like you could practice along with me. So if you have a significant other or family member and you want to say like, I love you in Comanche. So right here is the phonetics, and right here is the writing for it. So yeah, so if y'all want to say it with me, you can. So I love you is ga ma ka ta na. So you want to put a lot of emphasis on the like use your chest voice. But yeah, so ga ma ka ta na. And yeah, so you can go ahead and practice that. Again, if you want these resources and you want to learn how to say this, you can always ask in the chat, or you could get a hold of me somehow. I do have office hours, so if you would like to come by and learn some Comanche language, you totally can. I will leave that information after. But yeah, so let's practice it one more time. Ready? So ka, ma, ka, ta, na. And the so is like you, and kamakata is love, and na is I or me. So yeah, it's the grammar of it is a little backwards, or for English it's backwards, but yeah, so it's agamakatana. So you can go ahead and tell a family member that you love them in Comanche, and they'll be like, "What are you saying?" But you're saying, "I love you." So next one is Comanche. So the way we refer to Comanche is like, it's a little complicated, but I will explain it. So we usually say na se namana, which means I am Comanche, but namana doesn't mean Comanche. It actually means the people. So we're essentially saying, or I would essentially be saying, I am like the people, but the people is Comanche, part of the Comanche tribe. So yeah, so on our website we actually have we are Numina, so we are the people, the Comanche people. So yeah, so Numina, it's a lot easier than the last one, but you just go na, ma, na. So we have a lot of in the language, so you really have to put a little emphasis on that. So yeah, and the writing I think is really, really fun to look at. It's really difficult, but it looks very difficult. But once you get the enunciation down, then you could do it. You could do it. So do not be discouraged. So yeah, so we'll do it one more time. So na, ma, na. So yeah. Yeah. And the last saying is hello. So hello is madawe. So slowly it's ma, da way. So yeah, so if you want to say hello, you could say madawe. Or if you want to say hello everyone, you could say ha madawe ka. But we'll keep it simple. It's madawe. And again, the writing is honestly beautiful. I love looking at Comanche writing. So right here is the way it's written, and right here is the phonetics. But yeah, so madawe. So we can go through the 3 sayings, I guess. So we'll go through I love you. So okay, 1, 2, 3. Kama kata na. So we'll do it again. We'll do it a little faster. Kama kata na. There you go. That's I love you. And then Comanche is na ma na. So one more time. Na ma na. Cool. I'm sure y'all are doing great. And last one is hello and muda way. So muda way. Yeah. So you could say hello or muda way. Yeah. All right. So I wanted to leave a little bit of time for some questions. There's a lot of information, but if you have any questions about any of the traditions or the culture, you can feel free to ask. I will open it up. Let me just stop my share right fast.
Oh, Victoria, thank you for sharing your knowledge. That was a very interesting and just very informative presentation. Thank you. So I have one question. Are there other tribal languages that can communicate at least partially with the Comanche language?
So we do have the Uto-Aztec language, and that is actually shared by 5 other tribes. So yeah, so there are some other tribes that we could speak to theoretically, just depending on the area, because again, we are part of the Shoshone tribe, so they for sure share the same language, and tribes around that area will probably share the same language as well. But yeah.
That's amazing.
Great question. Any other questions? Oh, wow, really? Oh my gosh. Yeah, Shoshone here. Yeah, yeah.
Hey Victoria, I liked your presentation a lot. Do you know of a good fry bread recipe? Does your family know of any fry bread recipes?
Don't even get me started. Yes, yes, yes. So for those of you who do not know what fry bread is, I'm sorry, but now you're gonna know. It's basically a very, very common powwow food, very common native food. And it's essentially the name, fried bread, fry bread. So it's just very fluffy, crispy bread. So good. But yeah, I could definitely share that with you for sure. My family and I, we would all make it. So we would make it all the time with some stew. So good, so good. Getting me hungry, Kenny.
Cool.
But yeah, great question. I could definitely share that with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I thought it was really cool. It's more like a comment, but yeah, my tribe over here in California, our language is also part of the Uto-Aztecan family. So it was really cool because I noticed some words were like a little similar to ours as well, because the word for I is no, and for you it's like nah. So I just thought that was really fascinating.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, definitely. A lot of different tribes share that language, so pretty common language for natives, and it's really cool that they use that during World War II for code talking. So it's a pretty hard language, but if you do want to learn it, you can definitely come to my office hours, and I can give you the resources for that. Any other questions?
When are your office hours?
Good question. All right, so let me pull up my little calendar here. So I have office hours from Tuesday to Friday. On Tuesdays, it's usually from 1 to 2. Actually, Tuesday is 2 to 3. And then Wednesday, I'll just give you my Wednesday one because there's one every day. But Wednesday from 1 to 2, or if you can't make that, then I'll drop my email down here. And I have office hours from Tuesday to Friday throughout the day. So if you want to talk more, definitely can talk more because there's my email. If you would like to get a hold of me, you can go ahead and copy that. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is your, I know you said Comanche Fair was your favorite powwow, but have you ever been to one in California? Do you have a favorite one here in California?
No, I actually have not been to one in California, and I really, really want to. I just don't have a lot of family down here. After moving down here, it's like all of most of my family is in Oklahoma, so I don't know too much about the tribes around here, but I'm learning from the people here, and I'm learning especially a lot more at UCSD. Definitely want to go to a powwow. I want to put that powwow gear back on. I got some regalia specifically for UCSD colors, so my mom made some, and I do have some new dresses and moccasins. So definitely gonna go as soon as it opens up, as soon as it's safe to. But I would love to. But I have been to Gathering of Nations. That one is huge, and that one is so much fun. We also have different ones. We have one in Texas called, that one is Comanche Homecoming. And we have a Walters one in Oklahoma. There's a lot of different ones, but that I've been to growing up. But I have not been to one in California. I would definitely want to go for sure. Good question, good question. Any other questions? Is anyone Apache here? I'm kind of curious. No? Okay.
I'm not Apache, but Dana people are relatively similar to the Apaches. At least there's a common language there.
Okay. Yeah, because I just, they're scared. Yeah. I just think it's ironic because now I actually have family members who are Kiowa, and I actually have a grandma who's a Kiowa princess, and it's really interesting to see how I have my tribe and like with Apaches and Kiowas all together. I mean, we do live in harmony now, so that's good. But it is interesting and ironic. But yeah. Does anyone want to say like one of the sayings? Does anyone want to say like hello in Comanche? Yeah, the Apache did fight really, really hard, but Comanches were very skilled horsemen, and when the Spanish tried to raid Comanche lands, they were never successful. So the fact that European settlers and like colonizers were not successful in gaining Comanche land until later is pretty significant. So I do feel a little bad for the Apaches back then because that must have been really rough. But yeah. But yeah, again, does anyone want to try to say hello, like Murawe? Does anyone want to?
I'll try Marawe. Marawe.
Yeah, awesome.
Marawe? Is that right? Marawe?
Yep. You got it.
Marawe.
Yes. Anyone want to try to say Namana? That one's a little easy too.
Namana.
Yeah.
Namana.
Yes.
Namana.
What does that mean again?
So that means the people, but it's referring to Comanche. Yes. And Comanche again means enemy, but I'm a friend to y'all, so without wait. Any other questions? We still got about 6 minutes. How did y'all feel about those powwow vibes? I saw Anthony's comment about missing powwows. I felt that so hard. While the drums are going off too, I'm just nodding my head. My feet are tapping on the ground.
I was swaying back and forth in my chair to the beat.
Whenever it stops, you're like,
and trying to be all skilled.
yeah. I know, man.
I was really impressed by the regalia, the colors like the neon green, those neon blues, and also the just like the sheer amount of buckskin that went into just one dress. Yeah, I was just like, also like you can totally see how people fall into like a trance doing those types of dances where the dancer is just like making so many complicated, skillful movements with their feet, and the drummers are like totally in sync with them. And yeah, that was very cool to see.
Yeah, it's a lot of time and effort and practice that goes into powwow dancing. Definitely a lot of effort goes into the regalia, a lot, and it's very expensive too. So if you have a family member that can do it, that's the move. But yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of passion that goes into it as well. And competing is really, really hard too. There's a lot of good Comanche dancers, man. It's really hard to compete. I used to compete as a kid. I used to compete until about 11 years old. And that alone was like hard. I always was, but what's fun is you're going against your cousins. Like it's never like super mean, super like competitive, but it's a lot of fun. It's does require a lot of effort and a lot of skill to stop on the beat, start on the beat, and the movement of the feet. Oh.
Hey, Victoria, I have a question. You were talking about,
I'll go after you, Elena.
Oh, you were talking about your mom was doing some of that new bead work for you. Has she been teaching you? Have you been learning how to bead also?
No, I have not, and I wish I can. I know. It's so hard though, and she does it so well. She'll show me like a little bit, but I'm always like, it's this tiny needle with a bunch of different strings, and then you do it on a little piece of buckskin, and you have to stencil it out. Like I know the steps of it, but I've never beaded my own thing. Yeah, but my mom is very skilled with that. I don't know how she does it. Actually, I'm kind of wearing some earrings, if you can see. Yeah.
Well, we have a teacher on here with us. When we're back on campus, we'll start our beading classes again. I think that would be fun for everybody.
Yes, I would be so down for that. That sounds so much fun. My mom would be so proud.
Do people earn modifications for their outfits from winning competitions?
That's a good question. So I would say yeah. So essentially like, but it's kind of iffy because like beginners will usually start off with less regalia, and they'll usually start off with just more plain dresses or plain things. But it also depends on the style of dance. Like for example, like fancy shawl. You can't really have like a plain shawl. Like it's usually pretty decked out in regalia, and it's pretty decked out in designs. But as you move forward, you do win the prize money, so you do use that for getting more regalia and more beautiful jewelry and beautiful dresses and more elaborate designs. So so yes and no. So technically no, but theoretically yes, just because you get that prize money and you add on to what you have. And on top of that, it definitely enhances your skill more when you learn or whenever you win a competition, because winning competitions are very hard, especially whenever the entries are really big. So winning one definitely means that you have some skill. and continuing to win more contests is probably enhancing that skill.
That's legit. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, beading on buckskin is pretty hard. My mom has a lot of like little cuts from the needle. I'd say that's the main problem with it. It's really hard to get the needle, not get the needle through, but not poke yourself whenever you're putting the beads through. And the beads are very small too, so it depends on like what kind of beads you're using. The smaller the bead, harder it is for sure. And I'm sure even on felt, it's probably just as hard. But buckskin, it's a little like less stable. It's very like flimsy, but yeah. Any other questions? I think our time is up. Yeah, thank you all for coming. I feel so appreciated right now. Thank you so much for coming. I love sharing this with all of you. Sharing a little bit of home with y'all means a lot. So if you want to learn more, again, you can come to my office hours, or I've dropped my email. You can just email me and I'll email you a link and set up something if you want to learn more. But yeah, I will leave you with this link though. I would just go on Safari, go to ComancheNation.com, and we do have our own website where we have a culture and language department. So if you want to learn more about it, we do have the resources there. Yeah, no, y'all are awesome for coming. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That was wonderful, Tori. Really appreciate you taking the time, and I love that you were able to share like your Comanche culture and then also a little bit about powwow culture. But honestly, one of my favorite things that I've noticed students sharing in these is when you bring in aspects of your family and talk about your family life or people that influenced you. So I really appreciate you sharing that with us as well. And as I said at the beginning of the presentation, we're always looking for other students to come and share a little bit about your culture, your family, anything that you would like to share with us, whether it's your traditional language or a little bit about your culture. We'd love to have you. So, keep an eye out for those invitations, or we love our volunteers even extra. So hopefully, you guys will sign up for that, and we will see. I don't think we have our next language table scheduled just yet, or we don't have a person lined up for it yet. So if anybody has any recommendations or wants to volunteer, let us know. But other than that, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you again to Tori for the presentation. We really loved it, appreciated it, and we will see you all at the next event.